Hey guys, welcome to my Rapid Fire Returns final part. Enjoy! That Spanish chick from the Fast and Furious movies is now a disgraced army captain who is assigned to an anti-nuclear missile base. Gets overrun by a traitorous ex-army soldier who wants to launch nuclear missiles to destroy America, and only this strong, capable female can stop him. Oh dear shit. I love Chris Hemsworth, man, but his virtue signaling is so cringe sometimes. I genuinely don't know if this movie is unbearable or entertainingly bad. Of course you have a strong, capable woman taking on dudes twice her size and strength and can knock them around. Of course she can get shot and shrug it off. Of course all the men in the movie are douchebags, incompetent, and what few that are decent just end up dying to make her look better. Just for good measure, she was sexually assaulted, because whammon! Add a few sprinkles of terrible girl power one-liners and you've got yourself a winner of a turd. The whole script is like that too, making references to Trump, lazy-ass villains with the vaguest of motives, over-the-top action sequences. There's nothing truly to invest in. If I didn't know how genuine this movie was trying to be, I would swear to God this was a parody for how blatant the writing is. It's certainly a fascinating watch if you just want to see all the crap, but I honestly don't recommend it even for that. My honest rating for Interceptor, a 2 out of 5.
You were absolutely sure you planned for every possible outcome.
But you couldn't plan for me.
A teenage girl is part of a massive online game, and her avatar is the beautiful Belle, who can sing really well. She becomes fixated on another avatar, simply known as Beast, and wants to know more about him. Ready Player One meets Beauty and the Beast, and it's not a great combo. Not a terrible idea, but terrible execution. Here's the only positives I can muster. 1. The singer for Belle is very good. Some of the songs are very catchy and beautiful. And finally, it's not really a romance between Belle and the Beast, so it's actually a respectable twist on the story. But here's the problem. It takes way too long to make that clear. For so much of this movie, it's simply about this depressed girl who now has this creative outlet in the form of this app, and is struggling with her popularity. Then, it becomes this mystery thriller about who the Beast is. Then, it becomes about domestic abuse. It's wildly unfocused. The voice acting bounces from zero energy to over the top, the writing felt like it needed another draft, and unnecessary subplots get way too much development, and seemingly important ones get none. It's pretty messy. There's a good idea here somewhere, but you can't find it. Not recommended. My honest rating for Belle, a 3 out of 5.
You have no clue about anything.
Then why don't you explain it to me?
Get out of here!
Director and star Kenneth Branagh is back as Detective Hercule Poirot. Having been invited on a newlywed's honeymoon, a cruise along the Nile, the wife is murdered and her close friends and family are all suspects. I remember liking Orient Express enough, and to be frank, I think I like this one better. It suffers from similar issues that I had with the previous film, but is otherwise a fun whodunit. The issues I have are that because the cast is so comically extensive, there's really not a whole lot of time to get to know the individual characters and truly attach to anyone specific, as well as keeping all of their shady motives straight. Though this is a small problem for me because the performances were just that good. Also, the actual murder doesn't happen until about halfway through the story, as opposed to a traditional murder at the start, making this feel more like a tense drama than a thrilling murder to be solved. But, as I said, the performances are wonderful. Branagh absolutely owns this movie. Relative newcomer Emma McKay gives her all. Russell Brand is downright unrecognizable for how good he is. That opening war scene was pretty freaking sweet. The writing is rock solid when it's more character-centric. And yeah, I didn't see the twist coming. If you're anything like me and you enjoyed Orient Express, I think you'll like this one too. I recommend it. My honest rating for Death on the Nile, a 4 out of 5.
But you're among friends.
When you have money, no one is ever really your friend.
Based on the popular video game franchise, Tom Holland teams up with Mark Wahlberg to hunt down Magellan's lost ship and treasure, but the villainous Antonio Banderas is after it too. I had pretty low expectations going in, but honestly, I had a lot more fun than I thought I'd have. Make no mistake, fans of the games may not like this. Tom Holland is wildly miscast as Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg is wildly miscast as Sully. Not all the action scenes work, and certainly there's more than a few groan-worthy plot choices. With all that said, for what it was, a dumb but fun action-adventure flick, Holland's charm and charisma power through his miscasting. His chemistry with Wahlberg also works to their advantage. Not all the action scenes work, but when they do, they are delightfully over the top and ridiculous. It hits more than a few cliches, but it's definitely a turn your brain off and enjoy it kind of flick. I recommend it. My honest rating for Uncharted, a 4 out of 5.
Nate? Oh, come on! No!
Sophie is a blind former skier who has taken a job to cat sit for a wealthy woman. However, things get dangerous when home invaders show up, and Sophie's only ally is a call assistant for her app, See For Me. I really liked it. It's flawed, it has its issues, but I thought it was pretty solid. Think reverse Don't Breathe, except the blind person really is the hero. There are some really tense scenes with Sophie communicating with Kelly, her app girl. Hell, even just Sophie walking around this huge house with expensive shit is enough to make you uncomfortable. Made only more visceral since actress Skylar Davenport really is legally blind. And yes, she's damn awesome in this. The only downsides are some of the writing. While I get why Sophie has a chip on her shoulder, there's too few scenes where she's genuinely likable. Some of the bad guys make piss poor decisions, making them seem like morons, and certain details with these characters, like Sophie being a thief, just didn't truly play into the story all that effectively. I feel like this is a love it or hate it kind of flick, and I kinda like it. I recommend it, but I do also recommend not thinking about it too hard. My honest rating for See For Me, a strong 3 out of 5.
Just stay calm. Stay exactly where you are. Let them take whatever they want.
I think they're looking for me.
Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson are astronauts racing against time to prevent an alien swarm of robots from the moon from destroying the world. Wow, this was stupid. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't have fun. How this avoided being a Sci-Fi Channel movie, I will genuinely never know. It's as bonkers of an idea as you can get. The moon is a spaceship! Something about a billion-year-long war, I don't freaking know, dude. I wasn't paying attention to the bullshit science and mythos. I just wanted to see what Roland Emmerich does best. Citywide destruction porn. And boy howdy do you get a lot of it. The acting is weirdly committed by the cast, the plot is laughably dumb, and NASA is made to look like a bunch of incompetent children, and a whole lot of the subplots barely matter. All of this molding into a bizarre and visually over-the-top experience. Oh, this'll definitely make some bottom lists by the end of the year, and I can't blame a single one of them. But I kinda like over-the-top stupid movies like this, so I was okay with it. My honest rating for Moonfall, a 4 out of 5.
Because the damn moon is hollow. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Set between 1909 and 1912, the Game of Thrones guy is a Danish explorer seeking to conquer Greenland before the Americans do. However, he and his one crew member end up stranded in the Arctic. God damn it. I really wanted to like this one, but it's so lackluster and bereft of any tension. And when you're a wilderness survival flick, that is not a good sign. think the primary issue is the pacing. Things happen way too quickly without much development. Captain Sisterbanger needs a volunteer to journey out into the death-defying wilderness? Someone volunteers. Need some tension along the way? Here's some dogs to sacrifice and a polar bear attack. Resolved as fast as they're introduced. Basically, it feels like it's structured like a TV show, but all the episodes are trimmed down to fit in a 2-hour story, and nothing feels organic to the development. I give credit that the acting is great. Some of the individual scenes are harrowing, and there's some decent ideas about these men losing their sanity, but none of it gels together very well. It has so much potential, but the writing does it an injustice. Not recommended. My honest rating for Against the Ice, a week 3 out of 5.
Bringing you with me was always going to be a risk, but I judged your Navy background would arm you with the necessary discipline to follow orders.
Set during the COVID pandemic, a film crew is locked in a movie set for a ridiculous flick that they're making, but Karen Gillan is too stressed out to want to continue shooting. Oh my god, this was hilarious. A movie that so blatantly makes fun of the film industry and celebrity culture. Man, I was not expecting to like it this much. This flick comes out swinging, telling a new guy that the actors have to be pampered to and flattered, but never to trust them. It makes fun of the awkwardness of two friends being unable to hug or otherwise make physical contact during the pandemic, and the nonsense of them being bored while being trapped in an all-expense-paid hotel with room service. I love the cheapness of this dumb movie that they're making, while also making every actor a different shade of being a diva. The acting is wonderful from everyone, especially Leslie Mann, whom I absolutely simp for, and some wonderful cameos from Kate McKinnon, whom I usually don't like, and James McAvoy, who stole the show for the 2 minutes he was on screen. I'm absolutely smitten with this flick. I'm usually not the biggest fan of Judd Apatow, but this was right up my alley. If you've got Netflix, I highly recommend you check this out. My honest rating for The Bubble, a 5 out of 5.
Let's just shoot it quickly. You're gonna be so proud when you get it done.
Carol, can you stop gaslighting me?
Gaslighting? That is not gaslighting. You know what?
Set in 1850s California, a prostitute is the object of romance by a kindly Christian farmer and wants to give her a new life. A year is never complete without seeing at least one Christian movie. And actually, weirdly enough, this is not that bad. Unlike the chum-filled sludge that PureFlix makes, this doesn't preach to the audience about how great Christianity is and how if you're not a believer, then you're a bad guy. No, it's a story about acceptance, forgiveness, and hard work toward redemption. You know, everything that Christianity should be about. Over time, the story mostly won me over with the earnest acting from the two leads, Abigail Cohen and Tom Lewis. And it's not a G-rated story either. It's not afraid to show abuse, nudity, albeit strategically so, and is mature about its themes. But my gripes are just as numerous. The relationship between Angel and Michael is rooted in love at first sight, an immediate romance no-no for me, to which Michael comes off as crazy rather than sincere. Some character choices are infuriatingly unrelatable, and an entire plot point from the second act is repeated for the third act. It's baffling how incompetent the story structure is. This romantic epic clocks in at 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is way too long for a story like this. But if you can muscle through the cringy first act and the cringy first half of the second act, I don't know, you might be surprised by this. My honest rating for Redeeming Love, a strong 3 out of 5.
I'm not playing into your little marriage slave fantasy.
Marriage is not slavery.
Set in 1978, a kid is abducted by a serial child abductor, is locked in a soundproof basement, but receives help from the ghosts of the abductor's past victims through a disconnected landline. It's good, but it has its fair share of flaws and can be a little derivative at times. Stephen King's It is clearly this flick's inspiration, and it's written everywhere. Instead of red balloons, they're black. The villain puts on a showman persona and changes his face with a fluctuating voice going from creepy high pitch to death metal growls. The girl is psychic, kind of, and it's about facing your fears and standing up for yourself. It's painfully obvious. There's also inconsistency with whether or not main character Finney can actually see the ghosts or not, as well as some missed opportunities and bad writing in the climactic third act that really disappoint. With all that said, the kid actors Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw are phenomenal. Ethan Hawke, for all his criticism of comic book movies, would make an excellent comic book villain. The sound design can be wonderful, and more than a few scenes with the ghost kids are not only creepy, but emotionally powerful where it counts. I think horror fans might be delighted by this. If you're a fan of the genre, I recommend it. My honest rating for The Black Phone, a 4 out of 5.
I'll beat you with that belt till you pass out. It hurts, kid. It hurts real bad.
After a young Gru steals a powerful stone from his favorite villain group, one of his minions loses it. He gets kidnapped by a former member of the group, and Kevin, Stuart, and Bob must save him. It's not worth a dedicated review. I guess I don't hate it like most adults would, but that doesn't mean I like it. I won't deny that I got a few chuckles. Chuckles, mind you, not laughs. A handful of slapstick moments tickled me, and at the beginning, it seemed like it was being smart with its writing. But then the rest of the movie happens. Aside from the few sprinkles of entertainment, it's a straightforward kids movie where only little kids would enjoy it, what with all the butt, fart, and crotch jokes. And the stellar casting of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Danny Trejo, and Lucy Lawless meant exactly nothing. Because all they do is make nondescript action noises, which could be done by the Illumination janitor, a gargantuan waste of an already pointless movie. I love Despicable Me, man, but the franchise went downhill hard after that, and this is not a return to form. If you've got kids that are bugging you to see it, have at it, but adults, you're not going to enjoy yourselves. My honest rating for Minions: The Rise of Gru, a weak 3 out of 5.
You seriously think a puny little child can be a villain?
Yes, I am pretty despicable. You don't want to...
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. My rapid fires from this point on will now stick to the thematic stuff that I was trying to do at the beginning of the year. Keep an eye out for them as I start rolling them out, but otherwise, have a great day, stay safe and healthy out there, hope to see you soon. Also, follow me on my Twitter, link in the description.